It's the 31st of July, and this is your News Bite brought to you by eNCA.com. I'm Marcel Gordon, and in your news today, calls for IDAC to close its doors, President Donald Trump claims to have reached a peace deal in Gaza, and SAFA officially parts ways with Bafana coach Hugo Broos. IDAC senior investigator Mancha Rapesu has told the Matlala Commission that former IDAC head Andrea Johnson gave Parliament's ad hoc committee false information about Fadil Adams' Section 27 referral. Now, you'll remember that Adams had approached IDAC with allegations of misuse of state resources involving crime intelligence and the political killings task team.
I was watching when the ID was presenting at ad hoc. So there was a point where she indicated that PKTT was not part of the Section 27 referral. So that is when now I started looking at it differently, because I was shocked because the Section 27 that I saw, that information was there.
When you say,
Were you shocked because she had misled the ad hoc committee? What exactly shocked you about what you heard or what you saw?
I was shocked that the information that she was putting there was not entirely correct.
Don't be diplomatic. It was true or it was false? Entirely correct means yeah, but not everything. It was true or it was false?
It was false.
Meanwhile, Justice Minister Mamoloko Kubaye has suspended 3 senior IDAC investigators. Dylan Perumal, Sunil Beloshan and Brian Padayachi are linked to Andrea Johnson. Kubaye says this is part of a cleanup.
A process to improve operational management of the Directorate is underway, which include a review of standard operating procedure and related issues. IDAC will ensure that they build a sustainable in-house capacity to deal with digital forensic matters. I have, as the Minister, placed Mr. Dylan Perumal on suspension from his position as the Chief Investigator of South Africa's Investigative Directorate against corruption, pending disciplinary action and disciplinary processes. And the NDPP, in terms of his powers, also in terms of authority, you would understand that there are delegations at which level you deal with what, has started a disciplinary process for employees within the purview of his purview who have been found wanting at IDAC, and that has commenced. Mr. Brian Padiaki and Mr. Suleiman Buluchan have already been suspended pending disciplinary proceedings against them.
But Accountability Now's advocate Paul Hoffman says the investigating unit must just close shop.
IDAC, as it sits at the moment, is legally indistinguishable from the Scorpions, which worked rather well until the executive branch of government started interfering with its operations and eventually brought it down via a majority vote in Parliament that saw the end of the Scorpions. Now, to replace the Scorpions with a body which is legally indistinguishable means that IDAC, as it is currently constituted, is indistinguishable from the Scorpions and could suffer exactly the same fate if, like the Scorpions, it tries to do its job properly, which means bringing accountability to those who indulge in corruption with impunity, which has been the order of the day in South Africa for far too long. So the short answer is close it down.
At the same time, National Police Commissioner Fannie Masemola's matter is among several high-profile IDAC cases being reassessed. Masemola faces 4 charges under the Public Finance Management Act linked to the controversial 360 million rand SAPS tender awarded to Vusimusi Matlala's company. Here's MPA boss Andy Motibi.
That, there's been evidence that, Johnson has launched an attack against Masemola and Khumalo and so on. You would know that there's a review process. We've concluded the review of matters against General Khumalo, and we have announced that the matters have been withdrawn, albeit provisional. And I know that most of the members of the public are zooming in on the word provisional, but the cases have been withdrawn. The provisional part is really to ensure that where there's still matters that are outstanding, we ensure that we clean them up in terms of the legal process, and we will revert to the public in terms of how we have concluded those and indicate. I can confirm that General Masemola's matter is included within the scope of the matters that are under review.
Well, over at the attempted murder case involving Vusi Matlala, Captain Phimi Sekgobela made the admission that officers did not search alleged hitman Musa Kekana's home in accordance with the Criminal Procedures Act. Kekana alleges police tortured him. That's while trying to recover weapons linked to the April 2024 murder of Vereniging engineer Armand Swart. Let's listen to Matlala's lawyer, Annelien van den Heever, cross-examining Sekgobela.
When you conduct a search inside somebody's house, and let's just deal with inside somebody's house, how are you supposed to conduct that search? Please just tell the court.
It says that you must search the house with respect and handle the property or items that are in the house carefully.
Yes, anything else?
And that after searching, you need to put back things as you found them.
US President Donald Trump claims that his much vaunted Board of Peace has reached what he calls a historic agreement for the complete disarmament of Hamas and all other armed groups in Gaza. Trump made the announcement on social media, as he does, but said this disarmament would come in phases and is a monumental step towards lasting peace and security. According to Trump, talks in Cairo between mediators and Hamas leaders on Thursday led to the agreement. Hamas said on Friday it agreed to a deal to end the war with Israel that included provisions addressing its weapons and the gradual withdrawal of Israeli forces from the Gaza Strip. There has been no immediate statement from Israel. Closer to home, President Cyril Ramaphosa says South Africa's transition to cleaner energy must be fair and inclusive. The president visited the new Ummbila Emoyeni Power farm in Mpumalanga. He says projects like those should create real opportunities and lasting benefits for local communities.
And now, as a country, we have committed to transition our society and economy along a low-carbon, climate-resilient pathway that is in line with our domestic and international obligations. We have been clear that this transition should be just, should be inclusive, and should leave no one behind. And in this project, we see the justness of it all, where through the execution of this project, members of the community are seeing how they can benefit from the launching of an energy project where it did not exist before.
Anglo American says it cannot confirm reports valuing De Beers at $1 billion or around 16.5 billion rand to you and me. De Beers is having to adapt to changing market conditions as demand shifts and competition from lab-grown diamonds grows. Anglo CEO Duncan Wanblad says the group has no regrets about selling the famous diamond business.
No, I certainly cannot confirm the price tag of De Beers. I mean, we are absolutely still in a competitive process, and of course, we're very proud of what De Beers has been able to do and what De Beers has been able to achieve. The valuations of businesses change over time. So let's be very clear about this. The world of diamonds has been seeing some very big challenges, particularly those brought about by lab-grown diamonds, and De Beers is adjusting and changing its shape to accommodate that. I mean, I think this is what all businesses have to do from time to time, and we have no regrets in terms of the decision that we've taken to move De Beers on into new ownership. We're very excited about the prospects and the possibilities for De Beers under new ownership and the role that it will play in the natural diamond markets.
In other news we're keeping an eye on, 11 people, including 5 children, have been killed and several others injured in a bus crash on the N1 in the Free State. The accident happened between Trompsburg and Edenburg overnight. Authorities say the bus carrying 60 passengers overturned, but are yet to determine the cause of the crash. On to the world of sports now. Well, it's finally official. Hugo Broos is ending his 5-year tenure as Bafana coach, and that was always according to his contract. The Belgian leaves on a high after the team reached the World Cup knockouts for the very first time at this year's FIFA World Cup.
My long absence from my family and the lonely moments in South Africa have led me to make this difficult decision. Qualifying for the World Cup 40 years after my participation at the World Cup in '86 as a player with the Belgian national team brought things full circle. Therefore, I will not extend my contract as head coach of Bafana. From the start, when I accepted this job, I knew clearly which direction I wanted to take. Even though the criticism was merciless. Supported by fantastic staff, these have been wonderful years for me, with various highlights and unique moments.
Well, Banyana's women's AFCON campaign hangs in the balance. Banyana face an uphill battle against Ivory Coast in Casablanca on Friday night. Desiree Ellis' side are in a must-win position after a shock defeat to Tanzania on Monday.
Like most West African teams, very physical, aerially very good, quick, strong, like most West African teams. And we've played so many of the West African teams that they have similar traits. In actual fact, the three teams in our group are all similar, but obviously the different game plan, play a bit different, and we're preparing for that. Also, we have to look at the what-ifs. If this doesn't work, how are we going to do that? So we've worked on a lot of different things in training, and hopefully the plan comes together.
Gianni Infantino's grand plans to privatize some of FIFA's biggest competitions has been met with some resistance. UEFA has officially threatened to boycott the World Cup if FIFA proceeds with its plans to sell stakes in a multi-billion-dollar commercial subsidiary. There's also been a heavy criticism from CONCACAF and the Asian Football Federation. And a senior advisor to Infantino, Carlos Cordero, has also handed in his resignation, saying Infantino's proposal was, quote, a bad deal for football. The Proteas netball team's goal of reaching the Commonwealth Games semi-finals remains elusive. They suffered a tense 58-54 defeat to England in their final pool match. The Proteas will now face Uganda in the 5th-place playoff. And the host cities for the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup for 2027 have been revealed. South Africa, Zimbabwe and Namibia prepared to host the tournament in October and November of next year. The white ball tournament is returning to Africa after 24 years. Here's Proteas bowler Kagiso Rabada and coach Shukri Conrad.
It's coming home. The World Cup 2027 ICC Cricket World Cup is coming home, and hopefully the trophy stays right here.
Yeah, no, hell of exciting here this evening. You can start feeling the energy, and certainly the expectation is going to be immense. But yeah, we obviously appreciate the fact that being hosted in South Africa or in Southern Africa comes with certain amount of pressure. But that's what we in the business of delivering under pressure, and we certainly want to be the first Proteas side to deliver an ODI World Cup.
And that's how we wrap today's News Bite. For developments on these and more, keep an eye on eNCA.com and DSTV channel 403.